Hi guys, welcome back. This video is going to be a little bit different. I've been really wanting to talk about certain video games, and due to a lot of people around me and due to the fact that I'm around a lot of people that don't really like video games like that, it's hard to have these video game discussions. And I thought about, what if I just make a whole new channel that's wrapped around just video game discussions. But then again, I don't want to have 3 YouTubes, and let's be honest, none of them are really blooming. So I think, since it is about a video game and my main channel is about video games, let's try it on here and maybe we can have discussions together. So, of course, you guys, please give this video a like and follow and share. And let's definitely just jump into it. Lately, I was really in the mood to watch Last of Us Part 2. And I'm the type of person, certain video games, though I like to play them myself, I like to get the full experience by watching other people play it. That's another part of me. And maybe you guys agree. You know what I mean? Just certain games, you just prefer somebody else to play. And also, too, I like sometimes to watch other people play, because sometimes when you're playing yourself, it's hard to really get into the full intent of the story. Yes, you're watching it, yes, you're playing it, but to really sit there and watch each character, each emotions, all the words, and just watch everything in full, sometimes you have to watch other people play it. And that's what I did with Last of Us Part 2. I decided to watch it with Hollow. The first playthrough, honestly, I didn't have the heart. So, of course, with the thing with Joel, I had to prepare myself emotionally, so I did watch that scene earlier, right before I watched Jacksepticeye play my very first go around. And when I say I cried so hard on that part, like, even thinking about it now, it just, that scene provoked a lot of emotion and a lot of sadness and fear for Ellie and fear for everyone who known to love Joel. You know what I mean? So watching it a second go around, that's why I personally haven't played it for my channel. I haven't even finished Last of Us Part 1 on this channel. And so I decided, instead of me trying to go through it, and I decided to watch the second go around, I decided to watch Hollow. So with that being said, though, of course, still, it's easier to watch nowadays than it was before. And of course, you guys, if you don't know who Hollow and Jacksepticeye is, they're really good YouTubers on YouTube. They're very big YouTubers, and they have a huge following and whatnot. And go check them out. They're definitely interesting and very cool to watch. I don't know how to say that because it's entertaining, I guess, is what you're looking for. But I digress. So let's get into my thoughts and feelings on Last of Us Part 2. So I rewatched it also too, because selective memory is something that a lot of us have, or all of us have, where we choose and pick on what we decide to remember. And I always, in my head, from the very first time I watched it, I always felt like Abby was the bad person. Abby was just this horrible human being. And that's what I remember. She was just this bad person, and she killed Joel, and how could she, But I was like, I've been really thinking about that game a lot lately. So I decided to go back and watch it. And rewatching all of it again, this time with a different YouTuber, I have a lot to say. I can definitely say, going this way, I commend the developers. It's literally a double-sided coin, and that's the best way I can describe both stories, because there's literally the same people, just different people at the same time, if that makes sense. If you understand what I'm saying, you understand what I'm saying. But they're literally a double-sided coin. 2 girls, probably around the same age, maybe one is a little bit older, who knows, because they didn't go into their age. And they both had men in their life that they loved. Joel was like a father to Ellie. And, of course, Abby's father was her father. You know what I mean? Both homely, very attached to their persons. And they both built, Joel didn't really build his community. He came in upon a community. And they're basically a part of a community that both trying to do right by their people and so on and so forth and survive. And that's why I felt like they did it that way. Because when you see Abby's story, what do y'all think? You definitely still upset at her for killing Joel, but you also understood why she did it. He was the man who killed her father, and she doesn't know anything else. She doesn't know Ellie. She doesn't know the life and the people who loved him. And so she went on a revenge plot to revenge her father. And that's literally where the story begins. And that's basically how the story ends. Ellie was exactly mirror image of Abby. A mirror image of Abby in revenge. And this is how revenge goes. When you bring other people into your revenge story, you lose them along the way. Your friends, your family, your loved ones, your pets, even unborn children. And it's quite sad. And I felt like the developers did it that way for us, not only to see what revenge can do, but what I can't pronounce certain words, but there's just the catastrophe. You know what I'm trying to say, catastrophe of it all. You know what I mean? It is quite sad of how many people they both lost, or more so Abby. Because Abby and their crew could have went into Jackson and shot off all their people, but they went straight just for Joel. Let Ellie lived. Not saying this redeemed her. I don't feel like murder or torture is a way of dealing with people because you're angry with them. I don't even agree with what Joel did. Then again, I remembered at the end, if I remember it correctly, because like I said, it's been a while since I watched the full playthrough of Last of Us Part 1. But if I remember correctly, Joel was trying to go get Ellie, and they had guns raised at him. So he was just defending himself. Even though the doctor in the end was like, wait. And I think he still shot without remorse. But like I said, correct me if I'm wrong, and correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But I commend developers for doing it this way. It's quite tragic. And it's a really good, well-written story. I love the open world aspect. I love to see both sides of both coins. Like they always say, there's always two sides of the story. There's never, or sometimes there's a third and fourth side of the story too. You just never know. That's why they always say don't go off for first glance or first revenge. Get all your information. Don't just jump off of one and then just go for it. You know, but this kind of showed the world this is what happens when you just take one piece of information and just run with it. Then you're not only hurting everybody else in the situation, that sounds wrong. You're hurting everyone around you, basically, is what I'm trying to say. It's not just you getting your revenge, you're hurting everyone else around you, and it turns into a gigantic volcano explosion. Also, too, another opinion of mine is, I'm not gonna lie, playing as Abby was definitely not my favorite part of it, even though I didn't physically play her myself. But watching other people play her, I didn't really prefer to play as Abby. And I did a little research, not a lot, but a little research, and a lot of other people agreed they didn't like playing as Abby as much. And I think it was just because it's a different feel from Ellie. Even though Ellie was used to this and things like that, she still had more of a gentle way to her. So playing as Abby, more hefty, you know what I mean? And Ellie was more wimpy, you know, you get the point. It was just a different feel. I like Dina and Ellie's love story. It's unfortunate what happened to Jesse, because deep down inside, I feel like Jesse still loved Dina. But it wasn't going to work. And sometimes in relationships, you just have to understand when it's just not going to work and go your separate ways. Also, too, as you can tell, I'm not really going in order. I'm just kind of going off of just how I feel about each situation, each scenario. Tommy, when he kind of went in for Ellie, I feel like when he came back, and Ellie has some serious PTSD, severely, and who can blame her? I'm pretty sure Abby has PTSD too. I love you too, baby. And so when Tommy came back, he basically kind of wanted Ellie to hold up wanted her to hold her in. Basically do what she promised for him. And also too, I think he wanted to get payback for being shot in the face, and being his leg jacked up. He wanted her to go down and whatnot. But unfortunately, I felt like that was a lot for him to ask of her, knowing what they all went through. You know, when is it going to stop? Someone had to say enough. And I think she realized that at the situation that enough was enough. And so she already had enough. And I don't blame him. Just imagine somebody going through all of that and still wanted more. You know, at the end of the day, even with Abby, she just kind of wanted to live her life somewhere safe and free of all this. Same thing with Ellie. You know, Tommy, I get why Tommy wanted to do it. But it wasn't right for him to ask. Honestly, don't you want a break? That's my thoughts. Like, don't you want a break? I know he wasn't going to go, but that's a lot. But that's why whenever they had that final battle and Abby was tired, she was done with it. She was, you know, she just wanted to be free. And, Ellie was trying to withhold it, but she just realized at the end, she's like, this is old. Enough is enough. And they both had to put on their big girl panties and just go their separate ways. And it's sad. So then, of course, Dina, before she left, she was like, I'm basically not going to be here when you come back if you go. And I don't expect Dina to stay, even though I personally would, because, you know, that's just who I am. But I understood why Dina wouldn't. Dina took a couple headshots to the floor for her, okay? And risked her own baby to help her, even though she didn't tell her. But, you know, I digress. The point is she still risked her whole being and her child being for Ellie. You know, but it's unfortunate. Ellie's fear was to be alone, didn't want to be alone. And look at her, she's alone. And I hope she does find love. I hope she does find someone to love her, because don't we all just want love? Don't we all just want to find a person, or I guess nowadays a lot of people are doing poly, so multiple people just to love and be happy. And I know deep down inside they're video game characters, but somewhere in my heart I hope they're doing well. And eventually, hopefully, they do find a cure. And maybe if they do decide to make a Last of Us Part 3, they will actually find a cure without killing the host. Could y'all blame Joe for what he did for Ellie? Honestly, I couldn't blame him. But at the same time, too, it's killing everybody. Maybe he could have found a different way of saving Ellie without killing everybody. I don't know. But these are just my thoughts. And like I said, when it comes to these thoughts, I want to be able to talk them out with someone. And it's hard to, like I said, a lot of people I'm around are not really into video games. And that's okay. That's them. You know what I mean? So a lot of times I just want to get these thoughts and opinions out without actually playing the game. You know, I just want to talk. So I hope you enjoyed it. This is not my average video. But I do hope you enjoyed it. It's something different. I just wanted to really just talk about Last of Us. And just where do we go from here if there's going to be a third game. I did see the series. I started watching the Last of Us series. I didn't give, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I lost interest in the series, even though that was probably one of the best series / movie / game adaptations that they did in a while. It's just, I lost interest completely in it. So I didn't finish it. I wonder how they're gonna do part 2 though, and whatnot. It's gonna be very interesting how they're gonna do part 2. I might go back and watch it. I might watch it when it comes out on DVD or Blu-ray or something like that, and then I have my own time to watch it. But for now, I'm not going to be watching it. But that being said, you guys, let me know how you feel. If you want more of these topic videos, I might do one more after this. Maybe it might not be. Sorry. Maybe it might not be for a video game. Maybe it might be for a TV series. Sometimes I just want to have a discussion. But that being said, you guys, I hope you have an amazing day. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you guys later. Adios.